Race day. 3 months of hard work, and it all comes down to this. I woke up. It was about 5:10 in the morning. I slept okay. It's maybe 7 hours of sleep, but it was pretty decent sleep, so it's about as good as it's going to get waking up that early for me. Got up, got the coffee going, got like breakfast in, said goodbye to the doggo, and then I was off. It is too early for this. Ooh, there we go. There's some light. Yeah. Made it downtown. I got 55 minutes till the race starts, so should be enough time to pack up, get myself ready, and walk down there, and then get my bag checked in, maybe do a little bit of a warm-up, and then it'll be off running. One thing of note, they are starting the race under a yellow flag because it's supposed to get very hot today. With me running only the half though, I only need to start at 7. I should be done by 9 a.m. It's only supposed to be like 70, low 70s by the time I'm done, so it shouldn't be too bad for me, but who goes running the full marathon? They might run into like mid 80s, so it's probably going to go to red flag conditions at some point on the course, so hopefully that won't be too big of a deal for me though. Also, I've been running in the heat all summer, so I think I will be well adapted to whatever it throws at me today. So, walking down to the start area, that was kind of it was a moment. You walking down through the main streets of downtown Milwaukee, and all you see are other runners doing the same thing as you, and the occasional person runs by getting their warm-up in an hour before a marathon, and I'm just thinking, that's not me. I'm not going to be doing that. As you start to get closer, you hear the music coming in from the start area that they've already got going. It's so early. My watch wants me to stay in sleep mode. Yep. People talking about what the conditions are going to be like. And you get down there and there's just people everywhere ready to rock and roll. I walked around a bit, did the bag drop went fine. Literally no issues, super quick. Made my way back around by the pen area. Did some simple warm-ups just to get my legs moving a little bit. And then about 15 minutes to go, I was in the pen.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Getting started was interesting because as soon as I got going, I immediately felt that my legs were just numb. I couldn't feel them at all, which is, better than them hurting. So just a bit of adrenaline, I think, there at the beginning got me going. Went out a little bit faster paced than I think I had planned, but it was still within a margin, kind of that window that I wanted to be at. Heading out east, you're just running towards the sunrise the whole way. As you get closer to the lake, that golden light just starts coming through stronger and stronger. Until you get down by the art museum and turn up to go north into the residential areas. The residential neighborhoods are really cool. 'Cause it's like 7 a.m. You're expecting it to be silent. But there's just people everywhere, and they're all cheering, and they're cheering loud, and it's so cool. The whole city is it's just the only thing that exists in that city at that time is the marathon, and there's nothing else going on. There's nobody else outside. It's just people there for the run, and that support that carries you a lot. Moving down out of the neighborhoods, we get down to where you then turn back towards the lake, and you actually get down on Lakeshore Drive, run past the parks, and around that point, I was planning on then speeding up, but I was already going the speed I wanted to go. So I actually backed off just a little bit just to make sure I wasn't going to overcook it. I was feeling okay though, and I was still kind of hitting those A goal type run pace. So just stuck with that and kept going. And then I did have a spot of bother around the 10K mark right before it where the hip flexor started hurting, and it was pretty bad. And it was very consistent. Like every single step on my left leg hurt, but it wasn't slowing me down at all. My leg was still moving normal. It was just uncomfortable. So I backed off the pace a little bit, and it wasn't getting any worse. It wasn't getting any better, but it seemed pretty stable. So I ran through it and continued to run through it. You then continue along the lake. You get to the area by the art museum, actually down at the lakeshore, and that's also quite close to where the finishing line is. So tons of supporters were there, and it was so cool. Like that, you just get this buzz of electricity up your spine that I don't think I've ever really felt that before. Like I've ran races, in a past life, but this was different. This was just people supporting the event, and they were so into it. It was so much fun. And once you get through there, you then immediately start your ascent up the Hohen. And I would say the Hohen was definitely a good amount of elevation, and I don't think the maps really give it justice. My GPS and altimeter data from my watch verifies it is the biggest hill on the run, but it's not terrible. But I think the biggest thing with it is as soon as you start going up that part, you're on an interstate. You can't really see anything else other than the sky and the lake and the city down below you. So you kind of lose some bearing in terms of how much elevation you're actually gaining. And it wasn't particularly steep, but it's a very long hill, and it's the kind of thing I did a lot of my training on, so I was totally fine with it. But mentally, it's so intimidating. You see it, and it's just like, oh, I'm going to be doing this for a while now. That's cool. Whereas if you encounter the same type of hill out on a trail or in the city or something, there's so much other stuff going on, you might not even notice half of it being a hill. But this, there's no hiding from it. There's no lying going on. Like, it's just like, here's a hill, deal with it. And just as you kind of start to get into it and start to think like, oh, this is going to be a tough thing to get over, you start to hear in the distance music. And there's this moment where you're like, what is going on? And there's just a huge party going on at the top of the hill, right at the peak of the bridge. And everyone's going crazy cheering you over. It was awesome. And then you come down off of the other side of the hill, you reach that 10-mile mark, in which case, at that point, I've been holding my same pace. My hip still hurts, but it's not getting any worse. So to get to that 10 miles, I've got a 5K left to go. My brain knows how to do a 5K in any condition. I know I can do this. So then it just became a case of getting quicker and just pushing myself for a 5K based off of how I felt running to feel at that point. And yeah, I sped up a lot. You come down that hill and then turning back around and coming back up the hill. Yeah, I tackled that thing, and I moved forward a lot. On the way over the hill, I reached the 155 pacer, and I knew like they were going kind of quick, but I think they were banking time, and I blew past them. I really did. And at that point, you kind of start to think like, I think I'm gonna do this. Like I don't think anything can stop me now. And I just felt strong. Like I just felt like I still had quite a bit in the tank that I wasn't expecting to be there. And you come back up over the Hullen. There's guys there with super soakers, trying to cool people back off, because at this point it's getting quite hot. And the party is still going as hard as it was at the beginning. And I don't know, I just felt not necessarily physically strong, but just mentally, I felt so strong. There had been so many months leading up to this where it seemed like every few weeks there was something new that was just trying to stop me. Whether it was early on in the block where every day there was dangerous levels of wildfire smoke in the area that you couldn't run, or it was extreme heat and trying to run through that and just mentally being broken by that because I wasn't seeing any progress. I couldn't really feel, all of the runs were just terrible. And I just had to believe that despite that, I was making progress underneath it all. To having a once in a millennia rainstorm that came through and decimated a third of the living space in my house that I'm still dealing with, and made the final month and a half of training even more difficult because in my free time I was pushing myself through making those house repairs. And it was just, I was so proud of myself in that moment for not letting those things stop me, because that's been the biggest thing for me, is that in years past as an adult something like that would happen, and it was something that running was something that I would stop to deal with life if I needed the time and space to take care of other difficult things. Running as a difficult thing to do was something that I would cut out. But this time I cut out everything else first. I told myself that this was too important to not do. And I stuck with it, and I got the runs in when I could. And just sticking with running has been so important, because it's been the one time where I get to go away from everything else. And I just remember feeling, coming over that hill, it was all downhill then to the finish, and I kept speeding up. I kept my stride going, and I was just moving. Wow. What a half marathon. Love running that distance. That's so cool. That course is just something else, man. Like, you start out facing east, the sun's coming up, so you're staring at the sunrise all the way down to the lake. You turn up into these nice quiet neighborhoods that suddenly come to life as you run past droves of people. The support was out there was amazing. And when you got to like the really heavily packed areas, like that crowd noise, like it just sends a tingle up your spine. And like next thing you know, at least for me, it was like everyone around me, we all sped up. Like God, almost a full minute a kilometer every time. It was so cool. That race went really well. It definitely wasn't without its issues though. Like, I got to about 7-8 miles in, and like my left hip flexor on my left hip is just, it decided it wanted to be the problem, and it hurt like every step after that. But hip flexor kept working, and it continued to work. So as much as that hurt, I kind of had to back off the pace just a little bit for maybe a mile or two there. I was able to keep going, and boy, going over that Hohen is so cool. And then on the way back over, like, mentally, once I hit that 10-mile mark, I just locked into like 5K mode, and I was like, all right, gun just went off for a 5K. You can hold this pace for 5K. You can do this. And then coming back over the Hohen, coming back down that hill, man, it's quick. You can really let the taps open if you got the legs still, and I did. And just came through the exit down to the finish, and it was just like amazing. Can't wait to run that again. So cool. I had to get my nice finisher medal. I even got it engraved. It's got my name and time on the back. Love that. Next year, full marathon? Question mark. That'll be the goal. We'll see. I don't know if my body will like running that far, but if I can get it through that training, full marathon. If not, I know I can do the half. And wow. And I just had a nice long walk back from the finish area to where I parked on the opposite end of the third ward. So just cruising through the third ward, I had multiple people, just complete random strangers, congratulate me as I was walking through. So cool. Highly recommend that race. It was even like hot and sunny, and with the wind keeps it kind of cooler. You just gotta stay on top of your hydration. Man, really cool. Really happy. That was over 3 months in the making. Started late in May, June, July, August, September. Yeah. And total running. I mean, it's been like 2.5 years, and I got through it. And I'm kind of where I want to be now. I'm much happier with who I am. Can't recommend it enough. There was this moment, upwards of 3 years ago, where I was just kind of starting to feel like, is this it? Is this all you do in life? You just slowly get older, things start to hurt, and then you just can't do things anymore? Is that what this is about? So I said no. I told myself no. You can still do things. So I got off my lazy bones, and I went out and did things. I'm not finished yet. I still got things I want to do, things I can do, and I'm going to do them while I still can. And this was a pretty big milestone in doing that. So today's a good day.